keen to ask you about Brexit while we've got you as well. The Labour Party now supports a second referendum in all circumstances, but it hasn't said how it would campaign in that referendum. Would you campaign for Leave or Remain?
Well, I'm a Remainer, and my constituency voted Remain, and many of my constituents want us to remain. But I actually think the policy we put forward has merit and logic, because we've got to understand that we as a Labour Party speak out for those constituencies like mine, who are Labour voters and Remain voters, but we also speak out or speak up for the constituencies like Ashfield, like Doncaster, like Barnsley, who voted Leave but are also Labour voters. So we've got to unite the country, and I think that's an entirely respectable thing to do. But the key thing is this, right? You know, you've got the Liberal leader saying that we should just sort of end Brexit. I mean, the Liberal Party were the first ones calling for a referendum, by the way. You know, we're in this mess because they were pandering, calling for a referendum, 5 or 6 years ago. But actually, the party now offering a referendum is the Labour Party. So if your viewers want a referendum, they should vote Labour in this upcoming election.
I mean, Jeremy Corbyn has not really said how he would campaign, how he would vote. You get the sense he wants to try and remain as neutral as possible. Is that really credible?
I think it's entirely
on an
credible.
issue that is so polarising, that is the number one divisive issue? Under Boris Johnson, you know exactly where the Conservative Party stand. On the Lib Dems, you know exactly where they're standing.
Well, you don't know where Boris Johnson stands because he lies all over the place.
Is there a chance that Labour slips through the cracks?
Look, parts of the country want to leave. Parts of the country want to remain, right? What we are trying to do is bring people together and say to people, we will negotiate a Brexit deal, a one which tries to safeguard jobs, that doesn't have the huge medicine shortages which Boris Johnson's deal would inevitably entail, but is also saying to those constituents, like mine in Leicester, that if you don't support Brexit and you want to remain, that option will be on the ballot paper as well. As I say, I think that position has merit and logic, and I'm entirely relaxed about it. So it's a similar position to which Harold Wilson adopted in the mid-70s, and it worked for Harold Wilson. So it's fine by me.
Why aren't you doing better in the polls then?
Well, new governments coming in always have a bit of a bounce. But look, we've got to work harder, haven't we? We've got to work harder, and that's why this conference is actually focusing on issues which matter to people. It matters that if your child is ill and you're trying to get a GP appointment, you're there like ringing, pressing redial and redial and redial, and when they get an appointment, it's not for weeks. I mean, what good is that? And Matt Hancock says, oh, don't worry, we're going to force them to give you GP appointments or fine the GPs. That ain't going to work. We need more GPs. These are the issues we're talking about this week.
We're out of time. Thank you very much for being on the programme. Thank you.